and Eleanor was recommended by my friend Felix, who's ended up being Zombies Run much later, and you were the voice of Major DeSanta in the trailer, and then came back kind of a year and a half later to be Janine instead.
Yeah, but like getting a kind of the brief lowdown of what the plan was when you were making the Kickstarter thing, and then like it's wonderful.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's been a real it's crazy to think it's sort of 5 years on from the Kickstarter, and something approaching like 3 days worth of audio if you played it all the way back to back. Like, not even accounting for the time that you're running in the game, it's just so much hard work that everyone's put in, and it's really humbling to kind of be looking back on that.
So, an easy one. Favourite character in the game who isn't your own?
Amelia. I also hate her. Amelia.
Oh, I was going to choose that. Amelia is good though, isn't she? She's,
Has everyone met Amelia so far? Show of hands. Yeah. I think Amelia's probably one of my favourite characters to record, because Harriet, who voices Amelia, is so unlike a character. But the minute we start recording, she just kind of, she goes from being really quite laid back and really nice and chill, like making everyone come see around the office, to, oh, about me, what are you doing? Get out of there, out of my way. Like, very kind of immediately physical transformation. It's just really good fun.
And do you guys have favourite characters?
I think both of us fangirl and fanboy equally over Amelia.
Yeah.
I think she's
It's
generally the...
I think Amelia and also...
Well, in my case, obviously, I used to be a fan before I actually joined Six to Start. So, in my case, obviously, Sam's my favourite, being a runner 5. But considering he's here, I think I have to say Amelia.
and considering she's here, I have to say Janine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sam Pops.
I actually have really enjoyed recently Dr. Necropolis, who many of you may not have met and many of you may not have heard the best stuff from yet, but he's a lot of fun to play with, for reasons that some of you might understand. Cryptic, sorry.
Do you ever get emotional when a character leaves on a mission and you know that they aren't coming back from it?
I'll let you guys answer in a second. I get the emotion of awkwardness when actors turn up to record their final scene in the game. Because that's quite a difficult thing on a personal level. So someone you've been working with a lot for sometimes several years, and it's like, oh hi, you're here to do this scene. They've read it, but it's always awkward to kind of be doing that.
You always soften the blow by saying, well, if Zombies Run, anything can happen.
People come back in the head all the time. But yeah, that's my emotion usually.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Occasionally, don't even know until you finish reading it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to say anything in case I've ruined anything for someone, but yeah, it can get like, yeah, it's quite sad knowing that if you've kind of made a relationship or made a with someone, and then
they don't get to come in. Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Has it been weird for you, Angie, kind of having been really involved in the fiction from the outside and now kind of dealing with that from the inside?
Well, you'd think that, but I think now that I get access to all of the scripts before the season starts recording, it's like a Netflix fix where I get to binge on all the seasons immediately. It's difficult knowing that a beloved character is going to die, but also it's difficult talking to the actor about it. Like, I'm the one that sends them the scripts, and I'm the one that says, okay, this is what it's going to be, and oops, sorry, we killed you off. But they tend to take it quite sportingly, and they tend to put their best effort into trying and making it as explosive a send-off as it gets, and the actors are usually like, they're all really, really nice people. Like, we've been quite lucky having, you know, getting to work with some really nice people here.
It's all a front.
It's a good front. So, yeah, I think they take it quite well, and it sort of inspires them to do extra well on those last bits. So, yeah, I think it generally goes okay.
Usually the death screams are the point where I have to move and sit outside the sound booth for fear of damaging my hearing any further.
I love doing screaming.
Yeah.
Just love any screaming bit.
On a tangential note, regarding our board game, so we created a special mission, Matt created a special mission for 9 Worlds, just for, you know, you guys to try the demo for like 30 minutes and experience it, and there was some screaming involved that I was reminded of, and we'll probably come to that eventually, but yes, it's not as pleasant as you think.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. But yeah.
So I wondered if you could talk a little bit about how do you do the recordings and what's the recording process, kind of the daily life of a recording?
Talk us through a day in the life of a zombie collector. It usually starts with Phil being about 10 minutes late on his moped.
Strongly agree.
Well, either 10 minutes later in the nick of time, and then it involves having a cup of coffee, getting into the booth, losing the iPad, finding it, doing that a few times.
Fighting over who gets a small iPad.
I always get a small
Yes, you do.
iPad. And then basically it mostly involves a lot of talking and seeing how much fluid you can lose from your body in a small box.
It's very hot in sound booth. It's soundproof means airproof, which means greenhouse effect. It's pretty. Yeah. My favourite game that I watch these guys play is firstly negotiating who stands on which side, because they have different relationships for different characters, so Phil's always getting shoved from one side of the booth to the other depending on who he's acting with. And then watching Eleanor tease everyone else in the booth because she doesn't feel the heat. So she's stood there wearing a cable knit sweater, and I'm in the corner in shorts and a tank top, and Phil's basically naked. And we're all just like dripping.
And you do that on purpose, don't you?
Yes.
To me, actually.
I do.
But yeah, we go through, we record each mission in about an hour and a half. So it's usually kind of 2 or 3 takes each scene. The first one's pretty much a dry run to get everyone in the right rhythm and make sure that sort of the context and the emotions are right for the scene. And then second one's usually the golden take, and the third one's just kind of pickups for the odd thing. We take breaks for lunch and everyone sits around the PlayStation and chills out. Like it's kind of, it's both, it's really exciting work in the details, like the moments of how you kind of negotiate particular emotional beats, but the broad strokes is kind of stand in the booth for a while with a microphone in front of you and get too hot for about 8 hours.
There's beanbags, which is nice.
Yeah. Good for a nap.
Yes, I quite often nap during the day.
Yeah. I think you can hear it in the performance when you just post nap.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you hear it suddenly.
Sleepy
Everyone's going to be going back and re-listening to your missions now.
Can you hear the nap break?